Now, understand this, the second that a woman feels as if she is the prize in a relationship and that she's being subconsciously pedestalized by that man, that is the countdown to the end of that relationship. I don't care where you met her. I don't care where you think she's from. I don't care what her, like if she has a good relationship with her dad or her family members or any of this crap that men try to believe as to what actually makes her a good woman on paper. You're going to be hit with numerous tests and instances to where you're going to actually see in real time the desire and the attraction drop. So what I'm going to be showing you today on my whiteboard presentation is exactly how to frame every single interaction so that way a woman genuinely wants to look up to you and respect you, so that way you can have the quality of relationships and actually attractive women who take interest in you, so that way you can keep those interactions stable at all times. This is a very important video, so stick with me until the end. Now, after this video is over, I want you to go down below in the description, you check out that MBT webinar for masculine behavioral techniques, because I've built a community of thousands of men and a strong brotherhood of guys who are actually winning in their dating life every single day. So take a look at what Mickey said. Mickey goes, Casey has really built something special. I've never seen so much genuine positive support and growth all in one place. Go down below, you check out that webinar for masculine behavioral techniques. It's going to totally change your life after this presentation's over. Okay, this video in all ways, shapes, and forms is going to give you the confidence and the seduction, so that way you can actually attract and probably keep 8s, 9s, and 10s and the women that you actually want. And what this boils down to is you having a fundamental understanding of your own masculinity to truly internalize the fact that a woman never wants to feel as if she's the prize. Okay, so you got to write that down on a sheet of paper. A woman can never be the prize. And I'm not saying that to sound evil. I'm not saying that to make me sound like I'm some arrogant prick. But I'm going to tell you this straight up. A woman never wants to feel like she's the prize in a man's life or that she's of the higher value, because then hypergamy is never satisfied. A woman wants to look up to a man. She never wants to look down on a man that she feels higher status than. So a woman, okay, they want to feel like they had to trap you into more time or into a relationship. Like they literally want to feel like they had to trap you into that. They want to feel like I had to win him over. I had to give him a back massage. I had to cook him enchiladas and put salsa on top of it. I had to give him a kiss on the cheek and tell him how much I support him so that way he can tackle his goals and his dreams. And because I put all of that onto the table, I got him to like me. I qualified myself to him so that way he likes me, right? He likes me for more than my big boobs and my ass cheeks. He likes me for more than my pretty white teeth. Okay, this is how a woman wants to feel. So women look for men who aren't sold on beauty alone. So if you want to know how to, like, what's your first step to being a high value man? A high value man, like your first step to it is not fucking making $1 million in the bank, not thinking you need to restrict calories by 500 more calories per day so your carbs are restricted so you have more, 1 or 2 more abs. The first step, okay, in being a high value man is not being a slave to your own fucking lust. Okay, so understand this. Women look for men who aren't sold on beauty alone. If you want to know the first step into becoming a high value man, it's requiring a woman to bring more to the table than just her ass cheeks in order for her to get a sliver of your time. Which means that you need to be a man who's worthy of her wanting to actually come into your life in the first place. Okay? You being sexually attracted to a woman means literally nothing for her. You have to understand this. Like, men oftentimes think that that means something to a woman. Women don't give a fuck. Especially girls who are hot, especially girls who are attractive, especially who girls walk into a gym or a nightclub or a bar and have a bunch of eyes at them. So there's questions that a woman asks herself, okay? There's 2 specific questions that will categorize you as high value or low value, okay? The first framing of a question in a woman's head, okay? If a woman asks herself this, or if a woman says this to herself as he likes me because I'm hot, this is low value. If a woman can look at a guy and she goes, well, I know why he likes me. He likes me because I'm hot, or he likes me because he thinks I'm hot. This is low value. That's why I have a red X right here. If a woman has to say to herself, I know he likes me, and I know that he likes me because I'm hot or because I'm beautiful, this is going to put you into the category as a typical loser, low-value man. However, if a woman says this to herself, he thinks I'm hot, but does he like me? Or a woman asks herself this question, he may think I'm hot, okay? He thinks I'm hot, but does he like me as a woman? Does he like me as a person? This is the $1 million question and the blue check mark that you get that keeps a woman guessing if you like her for her. See, this is why I'm telling you, you have to be able to qualify a woman on deeper level criteria than her beauty. If you can't do that, you will never be a high value man. I'm telling you this straight up. I can put $5 million in your bank account, give you a brand new Ferrari, okay, have you be 6'2", jacked, and if you act like the type of man where you're willing to commit, willing to give your time, willing to give your attention, willing to give your validation, willing to give your approval to any woman just because she's beautiful, you have to understand how quickly you're going to get dumped or left for a man who's either quote unquote lower value on paper despite his status. This is extremely important. Getting sex means absolutely nothing to a woman, like they don't care. A woman can walk down the street, have a lemonade stand, put on that lemonade stand, say free booty over here, and a guy's gonna say, sign me the fuck up. I'm down for that, okay? This is what you gotta understand. All women want to look up to a man. They can't if you're nice. They can't if you're willing to give your approval. Like they can't if you're willing to give your time and invest in her just because she's beautiful. So like you gotta ask yourself, like, what the fuck are you being nice for? What are you giving your approval for? Because this has nothing to do with who she is as a person. See, that's why men have become so stupid and give their time and attention so willing to a beautiful woman just because of how she looks that it's fucked up. Why do you act pleasing? Why do you give your approval away for free? Why do you not make the woman earn you? Because I'm going to tell you something. Until you understand how to make a woman earn you, this is the only way to get her to love you. The way a woman loves, cherishes, looks up to, and respects a man is by being a man who's worthy that she can look up to, and that requires you to actually be a man who requires her to bring something deeper to the table than just her ass cheeks and a G-string. Like, you got to understand this at a deep level. So, remember wondering, well, how do I do this? Okay, you start to separate this into 99%er mentality and thinking versus 1%er mentality and thinking. So just because you're a man, you can't act or think that you're lower value than an attractive woman. Read that one more time. I don't care what Instagram says. I don't give a fuck what the music says. I don't care what the media says. Just because you're a man, you can't automatically think and act that you are lower value, okay, than an attractive woman. Because this is the cloud of judgment that a guy has over his head every time he sees a beautiful woman. You walk past a beautiful woman, you think, am I good enough? Is she gonna like me? Am I tall enough? Am I handsome enough? And what happens is men give their value away so quickly. So I'm gonna understand this. I'm gonna teach this to you so you can break through some of these false belief patterns that keep you stuck, okay? The 99%er mentality of what majority of men think that they have to be considered a masculine man is to tell themselves like, well, you know, I need $1 million. I need $1 million locked away in the bank. I need that 7 figures in the bank. And you know what? Then I'm going to feel good enough one day. Or they're going to say, you know what? I need a blue check mark on Instagram. I need to have some level of status that says I am worthy of your time, your highness, just because your ass cheeks are so big. Do you understand how fucked up this is? You're going to lose your girl 9 times out of 10 if you act and operate this way. A guy thinks, I need a Lambo. I need 6-pack abs. I'm not good enough physically. I'm not good enough aesthetically. This is bullshit. The truth is this. Not realizing, these men right here who are chasing the self-improvement grind for the rest of their life, they're doing this while not realizing that women fall in love with the guts and the internal strength and charisma of a masculine man. Read that one more time and put that down on a sheet of notebook paper if you have to. Men are operating like this based off what media and music and Instagram is telling them, not realizing that women fall in love, okay, with the guts and the internal strength and the charisma of a masculine man. What does that mean? That means you have to have a motherfucking personality. That means you have to have some swag to you. That means you have to have some confidence regardless of your income level. That means you have to talk with an assertive attitude despite who's around. That means you need to be able to walk into a room and actually command some sort of respect and presence for yourself despite how all of the other men do it. You're going to notice this, okay? If you walk into a bar, a nightclub, a gym, you walk in somewhere, if you have the balls to approach that pretty girl, watch every single guy in there stare. Now you're going to be sitting there, you think your fear of judgment, you think that they're staring at you because they despise you. They are pissed the fuck off because for the past half hour, they've looked at her ass cheeks in those Lululemon yoga pants too, and they haven't said one goddamn word. Don't sell yourself short. Most men are weak. Most men are so weak that they will despise and judge you forever. This is why you truthfully, you can't have super close friends that have these weak traits and mindsets. They're going to tear you down. That's a discussion for a different day. 99%er thinking is thinking you need more materialistic status and success. 1%er mentality and thinking, that guy walks into that place, that mall, that club, that gym, that whatever, and he says, you know what, I'm going to charm this chick's panties off even if I only got $5 to my name. He says, I'm going to charm the shit out of that chick regardless where I come from, regardless of how tall I am. He has that internal confidence, that guts, those resilience, that strength. That shit turns a woman on. That is how you dictate and dominate the frame in a relationship So that way you can be the guy that she looks at as higher status and not lower status. Once again, like I've said in the past 5 to 10 videos, hypergamy is a feeling. It is not a materialistic success of, oh, I'm a nurse and I make 75 grand a year. He owns an electrical business and he makes 500 grand a year, therefore he's higher value. Women don't give a fuck. The only thing a woman leads her intuition with is how she feels. If she doesn't feel like she can look up to you, based off your attitude, your demeanor, and your swagger, you're going to be left for a guy who has lower materialistic status on paper. And then you're going to cry and you're going to bitch to your friends and family members and you're going to wonder what happened. And this is the truth. So, read this one more time. 1%er mentality, that guy thinks, you know what, I'll charm this chick's panties off regardless. I don't give a fuck. And not only that, he goes, she'll like me because I like me. See, I like myself, therefore she'll like me. If I like me, she'll like me. Why? Because I said so. So this is the natural confidence, swag, and assertive mentality that you have. You think you're good enough and what you say is default correct because you said so. That's an assertive attitude that a woman likes. So you say to yourself, you go, you know what, I'm going to win because I said so. That cute chick that I see at the shopping mall, I'm going to approach her because I'm going to win because I said so. You operate your life on your own terms. So why do I have a box over this one? Why did I square this one off? Because when you have this attitude that says, I will win because I said so, you start to understand one thing. You need an entitled, arrogant swag to you, period. Like, this is the truth. You need, read that one more time. You need an entitled and arrogant swag to you. I don't care if people call you a jackass. I don't give a fuck if they say you're a prick. I don't care if they say you think you're better than people. I don't give one fuck if they say you're an arrogant asshole. You want results with girls, you want results with women, and you want results in business or life or getting people to trust and to respect you because they can follow your lead. I'm going to tell you this. People follow leaders. Women follow leaders. And women don't follow you because you're a leader based off of your materialistic status. Women follow you because of the internal guts that you have. You need an entitled, arrogant, and swag to you, period. Now, this doesn't mean that you're condescending. This doesn't mean that you give off small dick energy where you sound condescending and that you get butthurt easy. What I'm talking is you need to just carry yourself with a natural bravado and swag that says, you know what, I'm the shit and I'm good enough because I said so. I'm going to explain how you do this in just a second, okay? She can't here's what you got to know about girls, okay? She can't think that you're the shit unless you think you're the shit. If you don't walk through life and you don't carry yourself like you're the shit, what I say so is the shit. Like I'm good enough by default. If you don't think you're the shit, she can't think you're the shit. Which means that she's going to find a different guy who thinks he's the shit. Even if you got just a little bit better jawline. You see, all these guys too, you spend all that time on your aesthetics and you're snapping all these pictures thinking that you're some cool guy, but really you're seeking for validation because you're insecure, okay? She can't think you're the shit unless you think you're the shit. Unless you have this attitude of that confidence and that arrogant swag, okay? Unless you have this right here, hypergamy will never be satisfied. This is why guys at the highest level, this is why the Scottie Pippens, the Steve Harveys, the Dr. Dre's, this is why these types of guys, the Jeff Bezoses, you lose your chick, right? Even if she's not a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model, it doesn't matter. When a man qualifies his masculinity and manhood based off his accomplishments and not the internal guts and the fortitude of his own swag and arrogant confidence that he has within himself, a woman is going to look for a different sort of man who has that. So, here's what I can tell you. Money, looks, status will never fix an impoverished identity of weak masculinity. What is an impoverished identity? Most men walk through life with an impoverished identity and they think of themselves, I'm not good enough, I'm not tall enough, I'm not jacked enough, I'm not handsome enough, I don't bench press enough, I don't drive a fast enough sports car, I have an impoverished identity and I'm weak based off either you can call it the fucking capitalistic structure you live in, you can call it the social media way of mentality of what men think they have to be. Okay, this is bullshit. Money, looks, status, none of this will fix the impoverished identity of weak masculinity. So you might be saying, well, okay, Casey, I'm starting to understand this, that none of this stuff matters. I have to fix the internal guts of who I am as a human being first. How do I fix the internal guts of me being a human being? This is very easy if you understand this one concept. Now, this works for me. Those of you who reject new concepts, you're not going to do very well in life because you're stuck in the 99% of mentality and thinking. I tell myself as a man, you know what? I have value because God made me with value. See, the whole element and aspect of masculinity is the form of God creation in the first place. If you're a man, you create. Men are builders. Men build structure, men build businesses, men build their body, men build skyscrapers, men build. Okay? By you tapping into your own creativity, your own God-given masculinity, by you being a man, you naturally have value. So you walk through life, I tell myself, hey, I have value because God made me with value. I can act however I want because I was made in the image of God in those formats. See, this is very powerful because then you don't have to rely on your confidence based on some pseudoscience. You understand this, right? You don't have to walk through life and you think, hey, you know what, I'm going to have confidence today because Casey Zander told me to, or I'm going to rely on some false sort of materialistic status, like the money in my bank account today is hopefully going to give me the confidence or the false swag that I actually don't have, but I'm hoping, I pray to God, I got enough pseudoscience wrapped in my head that gives me the idea that I can have it. Bullshit. When you rely on this mentality of thinking, you say, hey, God gives me the confidence to walk into a room and approach that cute girl that everybody wants. I'm going to do it naturally because God gave me that confidence. So you can rely and you can lean on that mentality. If you're a human being, if you're a masculine man right now and you tell yourself, I have value because I was created, see, this starts to put you into that thinking mentality that you naturally have the confidence and the swag that you were born with. This is very, very powerful. So you say, hey, God gave me that confidence to approach that cute girl. God gave me the confidence to succeed in business. I will succeed in business and I will win regardless of the trials and tribulations because I'm tough enough, because God made me that way. This is very, very strong. You say, hey, I'm good enough, I'm strong enough to squat that 400 pounds because I said so. See, this wraps into every single idea of your whole life. So you can act like this regardless of your Instagram following and regardless of all of that shit. Regardless of all the materialistic success that men think that they need. Your internal guts, like you gotta realize this, women fall in love with the internal guts and the internal fortitude of a man. And until you capitalize on that, you're not gonna be able to satisfy hypergamy to keep the women that you actually want. This right here is why women can never be the prize in a relationship. A woman doesn't want to be the prize in a relationship. She wants to serve a masculine man that she genuinely loves and trusts with her entire heart. And that only happens when you know how to elevate your own masculinity and be a man worthy of looking up to based off how you carry yourself, based off your swag, your charisma, your charm, based off who you are as a man on the internal, not the external. There's a huge difference. Women fall in love with the internal guts and fortitude and strength of a man. If you like this video, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to check out that MBT webinar down below, and we'll see you in the next one.